What's going on, AfterBuzzers? You are tuning into the Ray Donovan After Show. Today we're covering Season 5, Episode 6. Keep it locked, AfterBuzz TV.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, AfterBuzzers. Welcome back to the Ray Donovan After Show. Tonight we're covering Season 5, Episode 6, Shelley Duvall.
Yep.
I'm your host, Olivia Gabaree. You can hit me up on Instagram and Twitter, @thereal_O_G.
Hi, AfterBuzzers. My name is Louiza Sharamatyan, and you can find me on Instagram @NobodyReadsAnymore and on Twitter @NobodyReads.
Hey, AfterBuzzers! My name is Elysabeth Alfano, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram @DinnerPartyCHGO and all my celebrity interviews at thedinnerparty.tv. Plus, huge shout out to my gal pal Olivia. Solid intro. Like that.
And hey everyone, I'm Rachel Goodman. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram @RachGoodman or on Facebook @RachelAnnGoodman. And no, that is not my private Facebook. That came up earlier, so I had to specify. That's my page.
Oh, okay. Thank you for clarifying.
On another show.
So this episode, I feel like I kind of got a little bit more of what I wanted because you guys know last week I was begging for more Abby, and more Abby is what I have received. We opened the episode with Ray and Abby, you know, cruising down the highway, the freeway, wherever they were, the middle of the desert,
Heading to the
right?
desert, right.
And, I mean, it looked awesome, but you couldn't help but tell the mood was a little bit somber, of course.
Well, Abby said, you always do this when we get bad news.
news.
So I think he wanted her to escape, you know, go to the spa and all that. But we all saw how it ended up when she broke down during ice skating and said that, you know, you're a killer and you're gonna outlive me, and look at me.
I loved when she was
It was
talking about
time.
that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, she's so right. He probably will live to a very old age, doing everything that he does, and she lived this very, I mean, kind of normal life. Not what her husband was doing, but what she was doing was pretty normal. And
well, the way she put it, I felt so badly for her because she said, you know, you're out there doing whatever and living your life, and what have I done? I've just sat home and raised your kids. And it's like,
That's the
my heart
part
broke
that got
for her.
me, is she really said, I've raised your kids and I've taken care of your family. So you could feel the bitterness in her, and that was hard because she is going to die. We all do know that. And you could see how bitter she was, how not at peace she was with it.
Well, we know that, but I mean, apparently Ray doesn't know that. He's in such heavy denial. He refuses to believe that anything is going to happen to her.
True, but my heart goes out to Ray here because he is praying, wanting, not accepting anything other than a miracle. And Abby is kind of giving in the towel already. So that's not to say that she doesn't know more, she can regulate her own body, etc. But still, she's not going to give it every fight she's got. She's going to throw it in whenever she feels like she's done.
And I agree. I feel bad for Ray too, not only for the fact that he is still fighting for her and she's not fighting anymore, but also for the fact that he has to watch her die. He's going to outlive her. He's going to be the one who has to live with this for so many years. And if he doesn't, you know, I'm not saying he would, but if he doesn't do something bad that kills himself, or if there's no accident, or if he doesn't get sick, which he seems very healthy, he's probably going to live a very long life, and he'll have to live with this.
And I'm glad that they showed that ice skating scene, because now we know that at that time he hadn't met Natalie yet. And I think that night when they were sitting together with the family and Abby said, join us and be with us, that was when she dropped the news and probably said, I'm not continuing any treatments, right? So he got mad, got the whiskey, got outside, started walking the dog, met Natalie, and that led to sleeping with her. And I think that's why he was so mad that night.
Yeah.
He put two and two together.
And it almost, I'm not saying it redeems him, but
No,
it makes
does
him,
not, but
it makes him look a little better, at least in that sense, because it's like, okay, well, we know she's pretty much thrown in the towel when he doesn't want her to.
I mean, that specific line that I had mentioned about her not living her life, that was really, I hate to say it, but that was the only point in the conversation I actually was on her side. To be honest, I was kind of mad at her. Like, of course you feel bad. She's sick. She's dying. Like, that's so horrible. But I I mean, I can't even imagine or fathom what it's like to be in her shoes. However, it is kind of frustrating that she's so willing to just give it all up and not even give it her best shot.
And she's been this way the whole time because she did have a chance at double mastectomy, so of course we all don't need to understand how horrible and horrifying that would be. But she didn't even consider it. I mean, she was pretty quick to say, no, I just refuse to think that I could have cancer, and I'm just not going to go that route.
Maybe she was just sick of her life as being a wife and in that stressful marriage that she was in.
I actually kind of feel for Abby too in this situation, because she's the one, like, regardless of the choice that she made, it did seem like in the beginning she was kind of trying. It just that her intuition told her she was going to die. However, in this moment, the line that really was the most powerful to me was when she was saying, I just don't want to have this body where I'm in pain. I don't want to live in this painful body anymore. That I understand. That I think Ray will not be able to understand at this point. She is going through something that he wouldn't be able to understand. And I completely understand her wanting to throw in the towel if she knows she's not going to get better and her body is in that much pain, because fortunately I have never been through that, but I can only imagine if I was going through that, I'd probably feel the same way as her.
And that's why I think Terry and Bridget tried so hard to be there for her. And what you and me discussed was we think it might be assisted suicide, but this episode did show some clues as to what really happened with Terry, you know, going to meet Smitty in the hospital, some answers being, you know, I don't know. I just feel like now this episode revealed some things that we were waiting for.
It did, but I was still confused. So now that we've jumped ahead to Terry, in church he was saying, or right before they went to church when they were in the hospital, he was saying, I killed her, and you see someone who has had surgery, how they are now leading a normal life.
That patient looked great. Her skin color, everything was great.
But I didn't understand that Abby was going to have surgery.
I was kind of confused.
Abby
with that too.
was, to my understanding, Abby was going to have surgery in place of Smitty, right? And then Smitty got sick because of Ray and could no longer have the surgery. But, I mean, we knew that Abby didn't really want to give it her best fight. She kind of, like we said, she was over it, and she was just ready. She felt as if it was her time. So I'm thinking that maybe Bridget and Terry interfered before the surgery, like, you know, came into play, like before it was her time.
So you can understand that frustration that maybe there was one more chance for her, one more door, and she refused to open it, and that would have been surgery.
Yeah. But that's the thing, though, is because it's kind of funny. We have Ray, who is trying to be as positive as he can and give it his best fight, but then, you know, Terry and Bridget obviously were on the side of Abby, and I'm sure it's extremely hard seeing someone you care about that much just being like, please help me, like, I just don't want to live with this anymore.
Yeah.
And they did what they thought would be best. But could you imagine how, like, shattering it could be for them to see someone who had made it on the other side of that?
Yeah. And they must feel so much
and the
guilt.
Yes.
Jinx.
And that, you know what? And that's the reason I think Terry and Ray probably went at it and had that huge
That's
fight.
what I think too.
Things are slowly unfolding.
Well, I believe that 100% because when Bridget was talking to Terry, and Terry was like, I have to tell Ray. I have to tell him. And she didn't want him
no,
to.
No, don't tell Dad, yeah.
And is that because they didn't want him to know that he was right and that Abby did have a fighting chance and now she's dead and it could...
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to put the blame on Terry and Bridget because they were just
following
fulfilling
orders,
her wishes,
really.
you know?
Yeah.
But to enable something that could have been prevented is like, that's hard.
And they didn't know either. That's the hardest part, is that it was an experimental surgery that even the girl who survived and said that she was doing great, she said, wasn't that surgery hell?
Right.
Exactly. Right. So they had to go through a lot. Even and who knows if it would have helped Abby. It could have been different on, you know, maybe certain patients. It wouldn't have been.
I'm sure it's not 100%.
Yeah. Right. And not every patient.
Yeah.
Two lives would have been saved though. Possibly Smitty's and Abby.
But
and now
someone
none.
else.
Well,
what if someone else took the surgery instead of Abby?
I mean, yes, I would imagine that they would put somebody else in place of that.
Yeah. Maybe not Smitty, but someone else.
So Smitty had the place for surgery. Ray poisoned him to give the spot for Abby, and then she didn't take it.
Exactly.
And then maybe someone
But
else.
here's the thing. Why can't
poor
Smitty
Bridget.
get?
That's
Why
like
can't
really hard.
Smitty get the surgery now?
Maybe
because he's
too
sick.
late.
Is it too late?
The same reason he couldn't get it before. He's sick. He's permanently sick.
Is he still sick? This is because of Ray?
Yes.
Well, I know
that's
he
my
has cancer.
I guess
but
we don't know 100% yet.
Well, what was he, aside from the cancer, what did he have? Do we remember? What is it? What's that? You know when you go to college and you get that shot? It begins with
Hepatitis?
No, it begins with the M.
Meningitis?
It's to prevent something that begins with the M.
Not mono.
No. Oh, I wish I could
It's not
remember, but that's what he
meningitis.
got. Maybe it's meningitis?
Maybe, yeah.
Did he get spinal meningitis?
No,
I think it was meningitis. I think I
Man,
mentioned
Ray,
it.
what did he have to pull to do this? Damn it.
I
Like,
think
I
he
want
did
to
it himself.
know.
Do you remember in one of those
that
flashbacks he goes
scene?
into the hospital and you see him injecting something? I think he did it
And
himself.
I think Terry feels disgusting now to know that his own brother did something like
that's
that.
probably what the fight was all about.
Yes.
We actually have a couple of comments in the chat.
Oh!
So
what?
let me give a shout out. We have Sarah Ervinitis. I'm so sorry if I said your name wrong. Let me know if it is, and I will correct that. But she says, Ray thinks he can fix anything, but he can't fix this. So sad.
Yep.
Then we also have Brandon Mason. Oh, Terry definitely helped her before the surgery. You can see him carrying the guilt. And Hubby Joe says, hi, everyone.
Hi, Hubby Joe.
Hi, Hubby Joe. Well, it's funny because they're in church. They go to church, and it's sort of strange to see Bridget and her uncle getting stoned and then getting drunk together.
That
it's
was
just
kind of
very bizarre.
Yeah.
And Terry beelines to the church. And he sees an older woman getting out of the confessional, and he says, "I'll be right back." But then he never really
takes
comes
forever.
back.
What is
so
he doing
He
there for
obviously
that
has a
long?
lot of guilt. So he
Yeah.
obviously has a lot to
He's
say.
confessing a lot.
I mean, speaking of guilt, how guilty does Mickey feel right now? The situation that he
God.
put Bun Chee in.
But I mean, what?
I still feel bad for him.
What other?
I know.
Like, I feel for him because I wouldn't have wanted to kill Avi either if I was him. You know what I mean?
Right now, Mickey's one of my favorite characters, comparatively, and I feel bad for him. And yeah, like, I don't blame him for not killing Avi, and I don't blame him for trying to do something to get his son out of jail.
Exactly.
He obviously cares so much about Bun Chee. I just feel really bad for his daughter.
Maria,
the baby.
The baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what, though? I hate to say it, but I think that the baby's going to be taken away from them.
Yeah.
Because think about it. Bun Chee showed up drunk to pick her up, and the woman, she didn't threaten to call authorities, but she kind of hinted like, you know, I could do it if I wanted to because this is inappropriate and it's illegal. And now Bun Chee's nowhere to be seen because he's in jail, of course, and Mickey's there, and he's saying he's going to be late, and now no one's here to pick up this child. It's like, crap. Like, but there's no one to take care of her, and Teresa's not there.
Yeah,
And
that's strange in and of itself. The fact that she would just leave and she's the mother of the child.
And we haven't heard anything from her, like checking in to try to see how the baby's doing. Like,
Or with Bun Chee.
is it even going to matter to her if Maria gets taken away? I'm not sure.
It doesn't seem like it.
It comes down to Ray probably coming home to save the day. Maybe taking care of the baby. I don't know.
He's unfit as well.
Or taking at least Bun Chee out of jail. But did we see how Bun Chee noticed the robber is in jail with him? Did you see it?
He
part?
noticed, but what is he gonna do though?
He probably feels better to see him in jail versus running off with all that money.
Yeah.
Some kind of closure.
I get the feeling that something really bad is going to happen between them. At first, like, I actually didn't pick up that it was the robber. I thought that guy was staring at Bun Chee, kind of hinting that there was going to be some kind of like rape or, you know, some kind of assault on Bun Chee. And considering his past, I was like, okay, maybe this is going to happen to him again, and this guy is eyeing him up to basically say, watch your back.
But why would he assault? Like, do you think that he recognized Bun Chee from the robbery, or?
I would say,
Maybe.
yeah. Who else would have a big bag full of millions of dollars?
But-
You'd probably remember them.
But what would be his beef with him? Because he stole from him.
Yeah,
right?
Good question.
It would be Bun Chee's beef with the robber. But my worry is, we know that Bun Chee's not exactly capable of a lot. So I have a feeling that he's going to try to, like, execute something, but I don't really trust him to pull it off.
I think this is a really interesting storyline because I really haven't gotten over the fact that Bun Chee got $1 million stolen from him. So I'm really waiting to see some sort of retribution, or the money to come back, or Bun Chee to cut a deal, or them to become friends, or something to work out on Bun Chee's behalf, only because he's so charismatic in that odd, weird kind of way. But I thought something else was interesting. Frank put him, or was threatening Bun Chee with 4 consecutive life sentences. That doesn't make any sense. So that would fall apart in court, and there's some, I think, solace in knowing, okay, they can say anything they want, but that's really not going to hold. He doesn't have anything that would pin him for 4 consecutive life sentences.
Well, they have the photos of Nevada. Because when he was talking with Mickey, remember, he was like, he's got photos. Which I'd also like to bring up. Don't they monitor calls in jail like that? You can't just be talking about those things.
Yeah.
But he was never pinned to Nevada. I thought it was Mickey only who was pinned to Nevada, and obviously he was there, but...
well, the whole family really came to the rescue.
Right.
So I think, they all have some stuff on the line as far as that goes, but now... no one knows Bun Chee's in jail except for Mickey.
And Mickey's in the trunk.
Mickey's in the trunk. They obviously intended to kill him, so I highly doubt that, he's going to get out easy. So someone either has to recognize that they're all missing, and, Ray doesn't even know that not only that they're missing, but why they're missing. I
don't think they're on Ray's radar at all.
They're not.
Sadly, the only thing on Ray's radar, and we can talk about this whenever you guys are ready, is Natalie. Why does he care so much about Natalie?
Sam Winslow.
There is something we don't know, because they've showed that dog walking scene 2 times, and I think it's more than them just trying to point out the timeline. There's something that she has over him, or something that we don't know, that is tying him to her.
Maybe it's his child.
What are you thinking? You think
Could be his child.
Even though it makes sense for it to be Doug, him being the director of the studio and all of that. But she's just so, she's so involved in his life now. It's why? What kind of bomb are they going to drop?
I agree. I think it might really be Ray's, and that's why she's sticking around so much in his apartment, and she's making herself so comfortable, never wanting to leave. Do you mind if I take a nap? Do you mind if I watch movies? Wear your paws and pans? I'm making some pasta.
And I love how they made the Shelley Duvall reference, because Shelley Duvall's character, her character on The Shining, everyone knows the background story with, Stanley Kubrick being the director, gave her a hard time on set. So I think Natalie James is basically that character getting mistreated by Doug. Maybe
that's very interesting.
That's why they linked it together.
They specifically said, when that kid was talking about it,
he's
Sarah's
so great.
son. Yeah, he's so creepy.
By the way, he's from Wedding Crashers. Did we all?
I did not recognize him.
He's the son. The gay son calling out from his chair. Yeah, that one.
Well,
he's so funny. I just had to say that.
When he was talking about it anyway, I don't know how true this is, or if it was just part of the script, he was saying that the director treated Shelley Duvall that way because of the character she was playing, kind of like a method acting situation. Right. And then it made her hair fall out. But I thought it was really interesting how he said, I would love her if she was completely bald. And I was like, considering the name of the episode, that is probably a very important quote to hang on to.
Of course.
That ties into, I feel like,
Abby's cancer.
Yes. So it ties into not only Abby's cancer, but also something to do with Natalie. It's just very weird how it all twists in like that.
And how
it's very clever.
How she says, I always win towards the end.
Every episode I like her less.
Well, not for nothing, but she's a famous movie star. She doesn't need to be staying in a strange man's apartment. If she didn't want to live at home, she could probably figure out another way to get by.
Well, could be too that a part of her is lonely.
Well, she's
and
lonely.
Privacy, yeah. And I think that in a way, she probably picks up on the fact that Ray needs something right now, and she needs something right now to kind of fulfill that loneliness. So I feel like she's using him and he's using her in ways that's convenient for them.
Yeah, it's just... I cannot stand Natalie. I feel like he doesn't need to be working for her anymore, but he, can't seem to escape it. And now he's utilizing his other resources to help her out by asking things of Sam Winslow.
So I thought that was weird, because to me it's almost a conflict of interest that he's now working for Sam, who says, I'll pay you anything, I want you working for me. And he just sort of goes with that. I think just because he's so tired and doesn't have the energy to really fight everything. And now he's working for Natalie too, technically, I guess. I don't know if she's actually paying him, but he, in fact, is she paying him?
I was wondering that.
No,
because
I don't think so.
No, because she's like,
anymore.
oh, she's a young kid. I think
he
he's
keeps
just doing
calling her a kid.
a favor.
But it's like, you don't have sex with a kid.
Exactly.
She's not a kid to you.
No, and I love
And
how
Sam
Sarah,
points that out.
Yeah, it was basically like, well, how do you view her? Do you view her like a child?
Right.
She's smart. She's a smart woman.
We're also finding a lot more about Sam than we had known. So we rescued the box of evidence. Well, Lena rescued the box of evidence from the car, which was I was wondering in the beginning of the episode why Ray was watching his car get towed away. I thought like maybe you should actively be trying to interfere, but obviously they had a larger plan per usual, you know, and they got the box of evidence back, and now we get more familiar with Sam, and he gives her the evidence, and the way she was acting was so bizarre to me.
Me too.
When she asked if Ray was thinking about her, like, how did you guys take that?
It was so
I
creepy.
took that in a way that she likes him, I think, more than just someone working for her.
But it was so bizarre the way she did it. And she's a very successful, intelligent woman. You don't... why are you doing
Maybe
that
she's
way?
attracted to him.
I don't know if she meant it that way.
Really?
Because ordinarily I would say yes, but like you said, she's a very successful businesswoman. I feel like she really knows how to get things done. If she wanted to seduce him, she would seduce him. I feel like she would get it done. Like it would have happened. But
no, I agree. She got Tom killed, and she got her Oscar back.
Dangerous
woman.
Incredible. And she has this very strange face. I don't know if you're talking about her daughter, which I'm sure.
oh my God.
I almost got the vibe that she wanted her daughter to die. The way she was just talking about it was so, like, airy, and it was weird.
She is weird. She was saying that her daughter liked to bite her buttons, and that would make her happy, and that when she was nursing the baby as an infant, the baby bit her because she had these little tiny teeth, and so she called her a perfect angel beast, which kind of she is. Sam is sort of like this, female beast, if you will.
I just found it really odd that she was playing with the dress with blood all over it.
That I didn't find odd.
Well, because that's probably
her
the first
closest
time.
memory.
Yeah, and that's the first time she had been, like, reunited with something that was her daughter's, probably.
But I'm just thinking, if I had a daughter and that happened for some crazy reason, I wouldn't be able to go near anything with blood on it. Like, it would just be I'd be, like, shaking. And she had no problem. She very, calmly, she went up to it and she was just looking at it. Oh, no.
And wasn't it weird that box of evidence was still in the car? Like, why didn't the cops take that?
I think that was Tom's leverage over her, and that she finally got it back, and that's what all this was about. I think that's why he had it.
Yeah, but the car was totaled, and cops came.
And it was in, like,
it's
evidence,
weird.
impounded, and it was still sitting there, and it was pretty evident that it was a box of evidence. It looked like a box of evidence, and, like, if a cop was going to tow your car, you'd think a cop would also notice what's sitting in the front seat.
And even in a car accident, they probably, I don't know, they might check out the car.
But a woman died in the car, though.
Yeah.
That's, like, huge. I feel like they might have investigated a little bit further.
Maybe.
But
unless they really just thought that it was an accident and they didn't think it was a crime scene, but who knows.
Yeah.
We have a couple more comments in the chat, too.
Oh, what?
So, Sarah Evanitis, and I'm so sorry again if I butchered your name, says, when she told Ray I always get my way, I wanted to slap her, Natalie. And then
We
Come
agree.
join our panel.
Yeah, we don't like Natalie.
Team against Natalie. And then Hubby Joe says, Natalie is no good, and she's stuck on herself. And then Brandon agrees with all of them. Oh, Sarah has another comment. Lena kicked ass yet again. She casually climbs out of the trunk and says, "What's next, boss?"
Like a boss.
Now that's commitment.
I have to say, that was my favorite scene. How she just sort of, one leg over the other, and she just kind of folds out, gets the thing, and then she goes right back. I was like, that and the dog walking scene, that was my favorite
Lena
part of the
is what
episode.
Ray has left now, I feel like. The only true
stability.
friend, past history, partner, whatever, because now Avi is gone. He's so weird with his family now. Lena's the go-to girl that he can call and say, I need this done.
Yeah.
It's nice to see this familiar face, you know?
And she doesn't get enough credit either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for keeping it all together, like the way Abby did. Abby, I don't know what Ray's going to do, because Abby really kept everything together on the home front, and you can see that that's just all unraveled to pieces. And Lena keeps it all going on the job front. Mm-hmm. Although I don't know how much longer that's going to last. I don't know what Sam's going to do to rock the job boat, because I think it's very tricky if you're representing Natalie and you've got Sam, and you know, Sam has to work with Doug and Natalie won't work with Doug, so it's going to be tricky to see how that goes.
I don't think that Sam is going to hold her word. I think Andrew's going to show up on set one day, and then all this drama is going to happen with
Andrew?
Natalie. Or
Doug.
the agent,
Doug,
Doug
yeah.
Landry.
I think so as well. And I think it was kind of bizarre that Natalie was so accepting of the terms. Like, oh, he's never going to come on set? Fine, I'm back there.
Yes, right.
Like, twist my arm, you know what I'm saying? It was just way too easy. And, you know, now we're starting to get more familiar with Sam's power, because we realize, okay, she got this guy killed who had this leverage over her. I mean, it wasn't directly said, but obviously it was assumed, because she has the Oscar back now. And it was so obvious. She was sitting there staring like she ordered for this to happen. So if she has the power to do all these things, what does she need of Ray?
That's what I was thinking. Why do you want
the same
Ray?
thing. Why do you need Ray if you have other people killing and stringing people up by telephone cord?
And Ray didn't even mention to her that he saw the Oscar. Like, he's so smart. He just kind of internalized it, but he didn't say, hey,
He can hold that over her later.
See, I felt the opposite. I thought Sam was the one who was saying, I see you eyeing my Oscar. And yeah, I've got my Oscar back.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, Sarah in the chat said something pretty interesting. That box that we were all talking about, wondering why they wouldn't have taken it, apparently it was labeled LAPD.
Oh.
I'm going to have to go back and rewind.
Yeah, so
See what I can
apparently
find there.
maybe it was marked to be taken, and maybe it was, I don't know.
I'm not sure if they have to leave evidence in the car until, I mean, I guess I don't really understand exactly how it works, but it was weird that it was in there. So yeah, Sam has the Oscar back. She's recruiting Ray to work for her full time, and Ray, you know, utilizes resource there to save Natalie's ass. And we see Doug's true colors coming out now. He's a little bit aggressive, but you know, I'm not gonna say. Of course, a woman has control over what she wants to do, but I think just because I have such a negative perspective of Natalie's character, I almost feel bad for him.
I don't think that he was right to be that aggressive the way that he was, but I feel like she's a manipulating person, or a manipulative person, and she is causing him to react like that and causing him to be like that because of whatever she's doing to him, something we don't know. I feel like there's just so much we don't know about Natalie, and that it's all going to come back to bite Ray.
So let me ask you guys this, and I'll include Sarah in that. I'll ask you guys and Sarah and everybody, and Brandon.
Hubby
Hubby
Joe,
Joe.
Sarah.
Do you think that Natalie and Sam are in cahoots? Maybe they both want Doug gone for different reasons, and if Sam can pin something on Doug that he got someone pregnant or did something inappropriate, Sam can get rid of Doug, head of studio. Maybe he's causing problems for her, grief, etc., financial issues, whatever. And so, and because Natalie, I agree, is very manipulative, and Sam just does whatever needs to be done. So I'm wondering if these two aren't sort of, because they've got Ray in the middle. To me, it's too balanced that the two of these women are working Ray. Something's up there.
It's not far-fetched. I can see it.
No, I would have never thought of that.
Yeah.
I could see that happening. I could see
Who's
that
taking bets? Come on.
Remember, Pooch Hall said there was a twist.
Oh!
Pooch,
we miss you.
Did we call it Pooch?
Yeah, did we? Come on, let us know.
We're only on episode 6, so we have 6 more. So I think they're going to string up a lot of stuff for us to just be engaged more.
Yeah.
But slowly.
Well, now we're starting to develop the Abby storyline. I feel like we're a lot further than last episode, right? Significantly. We're getting to know Sam a little bit more. I know you guys were talking about how you wanted more from her because, of course, she's such a huge, staple actress and character to have in the show to not have a large plot line, right? And I mean, what other ones are we developing? Natalie, I feel like we haven't gotten that far with her yet.
No, I feel like she's very much a two-dimensional character, and so I'd really like to see what it is Ray sees in her. And I think to do that, we'd need more from her than just sort of her whining. I also want to see much more from Smitty, and I would love it if he came on the show. I love his character. He's so lovable, and he's always making fun of himself. He's got a comedic sense. So I really want to see what happens with Smitty and Bridget, and this is going to be interesting to see where that all goes. And of course, if Terry stays in New York.
That's my favorite storyline so far.
And apparently, I guess it's over with Maureen. He mentioned a little bit, but it seems to be just something he's accepted
he wants
as
a
dead.
fresh start.
I think that was way too easy, the way that just
I just don't understand how that dissolved so quickly.
It seemed so. I mean, they actually got married, and then nothing. Even after the reception, she didn't leave him that night, so I didn't think it was going to be a big problem. And then all of a sudden, the next time we see them together, she's like, "Yep, I'm leaving." So I didn't buy that either. It seemed too easy, and he just let it go.
And he went to her house once, and she was like, "No," and he was like, "Well,
Okay,
guess I'll moonwalk out of here."
No, I think Terry has a lot of things to just close down with Abby and the way she died, and a lot of internal issues to even consider probably giving it another shot with her, or even just having someone else in the future. It's all about Abby right now, in his mind, I believe.
I agree.
But last show, you guys were saying that Natalie you thought was some kind of replacement for Abby. Do you still feel that?
No.
I don't
Okay.
think she's a replacement.
I
I think
agree.
that Ray might want her company right now because he's missing his glue that he had with Abby, but I don't think he sees her as Abby at all.
I mean,
or that she's a replacement.
Natalie could never be glue.
No,
I mean,
never.
there's nothing
just
solid
think-
about that lady.
No.
I think that they're both equally as broken, and you know, both of them are just probably very lonely, and they're using each other in a way to get by.
Yeah,
Yes,
I agree.
I think he finds her to be a kindred spirit in that way, that they are suffering at the same time, so they have that in common.
Well, yeah, I mean, she did ask him to watch TV with her and doing all these things, so definitely they do need each other.
Yeah.
So
We have a couple more comments in the chat. Sarah says, "Oh, that's an interesting theory. Female power." And then Brandon Mason says, I don't think Sam and Natalie are working together, but that would be a good twist.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I
note it
haven't
to the
seen
writers.
them conversing. Like, have you guys seen them together in any
No,
scenes?
but
No.
Natalie's $1 million property.
Well, yeah, of
and,
course.
you know, one
They
of the
probably know each other.
studios. Yes,
And
I
they're
would-
from the same root, right? They're both from the entertainment industry, the same studio, the same
same
like they have a
studio.
lot running parallel. We just haven't seen them cross yet.
Well, Natalie, as I understand it, is one of the main money-making sources for Sam.
Yes.
And what's in between her and Sam is Doug.
Doug.
Yeah.
So
and she
It
has a
makes
contract, so she has to do it whether she likes it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe, like you said, it can be Ray's baby, but they're planting it on Doug to get Doug out of the picture.
It could be.
That's
So,
actually
we'll see. We will see where this all goes.
Maybe there's not even a baby.
As well, right?
Yeah. I don't
Maybe.
know.
It could be. You never know with that Natalie.
Yeah. I just don't trust anything from her.
I know. Well, I'm excited to see what happens next episode. But before we wrap it up, as you know, here at AfterBuzz, we are super fans of all things television.
Yes, we
have some
are.
great after shows here from ABC, so I just wanted to let you guys know that ABC is actually coming out with a new show. So support from this podcast comes from ABC's new drama, The Good Doctor, from David Shore, who's the creator of House.
Nice.
Awesome show,
Yes,
right? Long running.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, a young doctor with autism and savant syndrome will use his extraordinary genius to save lives and challenge the skepticism of his colleagues. It's one of the fall's most anticipated new shows. I've been seeing so many
billboards
promos
everywhere.
and
Now that you say it.
Yeah.
billboards all around LA.
It looks so good. Yeah.
It does.
Good
I'm
doctor.
excited to see it. So it's starring Freddie Highmore and Richard Schiff. The Good Doctor has new episodes Mondays at 10 Central Time on ABC.
Okay,
Awesome.
well, I
Wonderful.
hope y'all
Good.
tune
Okay.
in.
Tune
yeah.
in. Yeah.
We will.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll definitely,
Can I say one more thing?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we all watched the Emmys, and Liev, we were rooting for you.
Oh,
we were rooting for you.
Yes, we
so
were.
So he did not get it. Liev did not get it. And so, of course, there's next year when you're getting it. We all know.
Yes.
But I want to say that I loved the picture of Liev with his son. Did you see that adorable picture? His son must be, I'm guessing here, 6 years old. Both of them in tuxedos, and he takes them to the Emmys, and I just want to say huge shout out to that.
He's
That
a
is
great
so
father
awesome.
figure.
Yes.
I always see photos of him with his kids
family.
and it just was, I mean, total opposite of his character, right?
Right, so super sweet.
So he must be that good of an actor.
Yeah.
That's right, yes.
Yeah.
Emmy for you next year.
Yes.
Yeah,
well,
definitely.
he has an Emmy from us here at AfterBuzz.
Yes,
Yeah. Honorary.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys for next episode, which would be season 5, episode 7. But thank you so much for hitting us up in the chat and leaving us all those comments. We love hearing your perspective on things and giving you shout outs. So please keep them coming. Again, I'm your host, Olivia Gabaree. Hit me up at @thereal_O_G.
And I'm Louisa. You can find me on Instagram at Nobody Reads Anymore and on Twitter at Nobody Reads.
Sarah, Brandon, and Hubby Joe, thank you for joining us. That makes it so much more fun for us. Super great. My name is Elysabeth Alfano, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DinnerPartyCHGO, and all my celebrity interviews at thedinnerparty.tv.
And I'm Rachel Goodman. Once again, thank you to everyone in the chat. It's been awesome. And you can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Rach Goodman, or on Facebook at Rachel Ann Goodman. I'm also, if you like soaps, I'm on The Young and the Restless every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Okay, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye, peeps.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.